The views, information or opinions expressed during the Journey podcast series are solely those of the individuals involved and does not represent Wise Words Imaging or any other company. Wise Words Imaging is not responsible and does not verify for accuracy. Any of the information contained in the podcast series is available from the respective owner. Enjoy the show. Comfort Jones, played by Martina Laird, made her first appearance in the 16th series episode Alden for Baby, originally broadcast on 15th of September 2001 on BBC One. Comfort was a paramedic. She was later married to fellow paramedic Finn Newton into his death. During her time on the show, she battled alcoholism and depression. She was stabbed twice, suffered a miscarriage, and discovered Finn was a bigamist. Laird decided to leave the show in 2006 and filmed her final scenes in July. Of her decision to leave, she stated, "It was a tough decision, but we're always happy to take up new challenges. I'm very lucky to have had the opportunity to work with such wonderful people and play such a great character for 5 years." This is her interview.
The Journey.
And I'm interviewing you because you appeared in Casualty, most famously known for Comfort Jones.
Yes.
And I've been researching, you've been in it twice before.
Yes, I did 2 guest roles before that. One, I think her name was Darlene. It was a Christmas episode, and that was also a crossover with Holby City for the Christmas.
And I remember the previous one, it was way back in 1994/95, Series 9, Episode 16. You played a character called Pauline.
Yeah, I seem to remember dropping some kids off at the hospital.
Yeah, you didn't have a major role in that one, but I remember Darlene was a more prominent one.
Yeah.
And then obviously that was just before Comfort, 2 years before Comfort came along.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, going back to playing Comfort, how did you find the role playing a paramedic?
Well, playing a paramedic I always was aware that it was an honor, quite honestly. I think that paramedics and our emergency services are our heroes. And I sincerely the responsibility as well.
Yeah.
They are our heroes. They run towards the danger when we are all running away from it.
Yeah.
They're solely concerned with saving lives.
Understand that. And working with Ian Bleasdale and Kwame and
was just an added treat.
I can imagine the laughs you had with Kwame a lot. So.
We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of chats. Kwame can talk a lot.
He had a smile for every occasion, if I remember.
Yeah.
So I can tell that when he was, in the episodes I've watched, there was always smiles in his voice. He enjoyed his work.
It was always a great pleasure. I think it was one of the gifts of that role and of that series was getting to work alongside Kwame.
And then he essentially became your husband. Honestly, no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when I started, we kind of knew each other a little bit before. Because you know each other in the profession and things. I think I'd auditioned for him actually for some. I think he'd been doing a musical and I'd auditioned, and I really can't sing, so that was never going to go anywhere. So we knew each other, and I started the show, and quite early on we got a hint that maybe our characters were going to get involved, and we were both like, oh no, that's a dreadful idea. So,
because obviously you played a Catholic devoted wife to Rob, wasn't it?
I was very devoted to my husband, being a good Catholic woman.
And it took, I think, I'm trying to remember, it was over time, and then I noticed the episode when Patrick Spiller was killed off, the late Patrick Spiller, Ian Kelsey. That was when the inevitable was getting closer, and you saw it getting closer.
Yeah. Kelsey was also great to work with. I didn't get to do that much with him because he was in the hospital, in the studio, always out. But he was a great person to watch how he did his stuff. And also he was really funny on set. Could always make it laugh.
Because everyone interpreted him as arrogant because that's his persona.
Character, yeah, that's the character.
Yeah. But Ian Kelsey in real life, I know, is a fun guy, and when he appeared in...
Yeah.
So, has Steve ever asked you in real life to help in a real life emergency?
Ever helped out in a real life emergency? Yeah. Comfort kind of took over a little bit whilst I was playing her. And I did find myself in situations where I kind of jumped in. Sometimes people might have read me or thought they did, and so they kind of believed that I could take control of these situations. That's the only explanation I can give. So there was one very bad situation where I was in Camden late one night near a crossing, and everyone's out in Camden having a good time, and there was a girl crossing the lights, and they had just gone red, so she shouldn't truly have been crossing at that point. The taxi coming on, I think, got a little bit, annoyed about that, and he ended up hitting her and knocking her over and I don't think he knew what would be the result of being annoyed. And he was devastated, and she was knocked over on the street, and I knew. Just go in, cut the space, get them to stop the traffic, all the things that Comfort would stop the traffic, somebody call the police and the ambulance, and I knew I had to hold her head and make sure that she didn't move because she'd hit her head, and we never know if there's going to be any kind of injury, and that's the important thing when someone does that. So I stayed and held her head and kept it all at bay whilst the ambulance got and then I did the handover to them, explain what
so you was like, here's Comfort. So
in the end, the most important thing is that she was okay.
What was your favorite episode to film?
I think there are a lot. I mean, I was really lucky. Comfort Jones is such a great character. She got to go through everything emotionally as well as just adventures. I mean, she was jumping off of tall buildings and hanging out the back of moving ambulances, and getting into punch-ups with racist. But the most absorbing one, because as an actor, it's the challenge that you enjoy. So for me, was the two-parter that we did. I think it's called End of the Line. It was the first 2 episodes of series 17 or 18. There you go. I should have known you would know. and the train wreck, and that was my absolute favorite. And working with 2 great directors.
Yeah. And I remember from that episode, Anna Poole was sadly killed off. The episode 3 of that series. So.
Yeah, my friend Zita. Yeah.
So, what was your favorite character to work alongside? I think we covered it already. You said Kwame. So, who else did you like?
I loved working alongside Kwame. You know what? I didn't get to work alongside this person much, but I really, really rate him as an actor and as a person, and that's Derek Thompson, who plays Charlie. Yeah. I think I don't think people quite realize how dedicated Derek is. That he's doing this since day one of Casualty, and it still matters to him. turns up and he gives it all. He's still so friendly and warm and accommodating to each guest of, he's been doing this week in, week out for however long, and we have different guests every week. And he's always there. He's always present and focused. Also, I think that when I was there, a lot of the guests would comment that it was really a welcoming environment to work in, that it was fun and people put you at ease. And I seriously believe that kind of culture comes from the top down, and that comes from Derek, who's got humanity so strong.
Because obviously he was the forefather of Casualty since 1986.
Absolutely. And he sets the tone, and he's also a very funny man. He's nothing like Charles.
Would you say Casualty is a soap opera nowadays, or?
No, I think it's a continuing medical drama. Because each week is focused on new stories and guests and things like that. It's a different format to a soap opera. A soap opera is where we tangled very...
Repeat.
Yeah, as my wife puts it, repeat, same storyline, repeat. Have you been in any shows since Casualty or before Casualty? I know I've read myself, but for the listeners and watchers of this,
I've done a few, but one of the reasons for leaving Casualty was that I wanted to do more theatre, get back to theatre. I mean, it's typical actor is like you always want to be doing the other thing to whatever it is that you're doing. And so I've been lucky, and I've had the chance to play some really great stuff in the theatre as well. So I'm happy, and that's why you wouldn't have seen as much screen stuff, but it's because I've just been looking.
And I noticed last time you appeared on Casualty wasn't actually in Bristol. It was in Cardiff when it was the 30 years.
Yeah, where they'd moved to. But that was some short thing for Charlie's character, wasn't it? Yeah.
And did you enjoy being part of that celebration?
Absolutely. What an honor to be about something about Charlie's history in the piece and to go on and greet him. Absolutely. I was so...
Okay. So, if you could appear as a character, past or present, who would you be and why?
Comfort Jones.
Just Comfort Jones all the time?
Jones. I'm so happy I got to play her. Absolutely.
And Kelly Marshall was young in acting as well, so you was kind of her mentor, wasn't you, when she appeared? Because she appeared first series as you.
Yeah, we started together, absolutely.
And she went through a journey as well. She went on a similar journey to you, where she was a technician training, just came out of ambulance training and...
Yeah.
Okay, so have you been in contact with anyone since the show?
Yeah. I've been in contact with Kwame. I still from time to time hear from Christine, who played Lara. Lee Warburton sometimes, who played
Tony Vincent.
Zara I saw quite recently as well, who played Anna. Yeah, we're still in touch from time to time.
So if you would come back, would you come back again?
Yeah, I'd love to play Comfort again. I'd love to. I mean, it's been so many years that who knows what she's done with her life,
Well, last time we heard, she went off with Sean, didn't she?
Went off to Australia, absolutely. And in Australia, they are very good, apparently, with their medical staff. The opportunities there are great. And so she could have retrained. She can come back. She can be working in the hospital now.
It's like Ash. He was a nurse. He went away, came back as a doctor. So
That's right. I could do that. I could come back as a surgeon.
So how did you research for your post as Comfort?
How did I research?
Yeah, because Ian Bleasdale said he went out on the roads,
It's very lucky we get to spend some time with the actual ambulance crew, with actual paramedics, and go on shifts with them, which is eye-opening and humbling. And also what's great is that when you're working on anything, there's as long as the scene has a medical procedure involved, there's always, you always have present an actual medical practitioner who does what you do, who does what the character does, and they'll walk you through how they would do things. So you're always being guided.
Yeah, because I read The Secret About Charlie, and Derek Thompson used to do stitches. It was never his hands. It was always Peter Salt's hands. And and I don't know if that was true in later life, if they still use Peter Salt's hands or not. But
sure, Derek is probably good at doing stitches now himself after all.
I agree with that.
It was a real gift and a real joy. And a lot of people love Casualty. And I think that makes it special, you know, how much it means to so many people. Everyone's visited it at some point in their lives. You tune in and you kind of get to know whatever that generation of Casualty actors is.
And you associate with
us Americans.
And the thing is also that, you know, you have to take it seriously, because every storyline that you portray, medical storyline, it's probably and I'd say someone's real experience in life. So you have a responsibility to be truthful and respectful of all the stories.
Working with Ian Gleesdale now, because he was the main boss figure for the paramedics at the time.
Yeah.
Was he a good person to work alongside as well?
I gotta tell you something people don't know about Ian these days. He is a fantastic chef. And I don't even say cook, he's a chef. He is amazing. So after I'd been there for a while, I started to get like the little invites around for his soirees. And honestly, he's just one of the best cooks I've ever known.
Okay, so thank you very much. That's pretty much all the questions. And thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you, darling.
That was The Journey, hosted by David Hackett. Produced and edited by Wise Words Imaging, all rights reserved.